This is Bad Boys Pilipinas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bad Boys Pilipinas. On March 31 here in the Philippines, the Detroit Pistons added yet another milestone to their historic 2024-2025 campaign. Ron Holland II, Isaiah Stewart, and Marcus Sasser figured in a melee that ended with them getting ejected, along with Minnesota's Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, as well as Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff and Wolves assistant Pablo Prigioni. Not a lot of people in today's internet will think it is an occasion for celebration, but I believe that it definitely showed to the rest of the non Pistons fans world that this young team has finally found its identity, and it's an identity that is intrinsically tied to the history of the team. A lot of internet experts and NBA highlight fans believe that the Pistons were at fault for what happened. Even coach Chris Finch of the Wolves tried to create this narrative that Detroit players were escalating the physicality as the game went on. What all these non Pistons fans don't understand is that the identity that this team has developed under coach JB Bickerstaff is one of true grit. It's a defensive identity around the excellent rim protection of Isaiah Stewart and the perimeter tenacity of Thompson and Ron Holland. The Pistons weren't escalating the physicality as the game wore on, as Coach Finch would like everyone to believe. The defensive intensity was always ratcheted up to 500. Yes, Cade Cunningham leads the way with his offense and his playmaking, and Malik Beasley can get hot from the outside on him in a minute. But for the most part, it has always been the tough and physical defense that has been the trademark of this year's Pistons. And they banked on that defense all the more for the game against Minnesota, since Cade was on his third straight game resting his calf contusion. And to make matters worse, Tobias Harris, who has been a solid addition as a steady veteran presence, was also sitting out due to injury. Like what Pistons legend Isaiah Thomas said when he gave his thoughts on what happened, not everyone can shoot 53s like the Boston Celtics. For the Pistons, winning was made through defense. Now, do the Pistons play hard defense? Yes. Is it over the top? I don't think so. No way. I think that in today's NBA, where flashy offense with splashy threes are all the praise, whenever a team comes in with hard nosed defense, it jars the consciousness of opponents. I bet that the Wolves players didn't expect that level of intensity on defense from a young team that a lot of people didn't think, and many actually still think don't have any business competing for an outright playoff spot. Anthony Edwards sure had a hard time getting his rhythm with the kind of defense he was seeing so much, so that he only mustered 5 points in the first half. This is the player that a lot of people have even said is the new heir apparent. What we are seeing is the emergence, or rather the re emergence, of a defensive minded team. Such a team that has been part of the identity of the Piston team of old. The 80s squad under Isaiah Thomas, and the 2000 squad with the best five alive. It heralds a potential pendulum swing back to a tougher brand of basketball, where athleticism is not only utilized for high flying acts, and skill is not only used for hoisting logo 3 point shots. Instead, athleticism is used to keep in front of your opponents and hang with them on defense. Skill is used to outsmart and outplay them. As of this recording, we still don't know what kind of penalty the NBA is going to meet on those who figured in the melee. There will most likely be suspensions. But in my humble opinion, as a Pistons fan all the way in the Philippines, the Minnesota players should bear the brunt of it. It was Naz Reid who started pointing a finger at Holland. It was Dante DiVincenzo who put an elbow on the 19-year-old rookie and tackled him into the stands. And it was Ron Holland who came out of it with blood on his lip. What I do know, though, is that I agree with what Bill Simmons, a veteran sports writer and reporter from Boston of all places, when he said that this thing when he tweeted after the incident. that the bad boys are back. And the rest of the league has been given notice. These young guys are not backing down. They have each other's back and are willing and not afraid to do the dirty work to get the win.